do today. Yeah, and then Friday it's this. So Friday, there are 16 little triangles. And you're just trying to see, this is what you learned yesterday. Are they similar or not? So you just match up and see if they're proportionate, right? And if they were similar, you would circle yes and write side, side, side. If they're not similar, what do you circle? No. If this one was similar, I don't know if it is, you would say yes, and that one would probably be side, angle, side. Or they may be similar by angle, angle. Do I see an angle, angle? Do y'all understand that? That's what criteria means. Like, I'm not saying that it's yes, but you would do yes, side, side, side. Or circle no if it's no. Then there's one more part. Is everybody good with that? Perfect. Okay, so that's that sheet. Then you cut them out. You just cut them and you glue them in the little spot that they go in. And I think this will help you to know. I can let you know in a minute. There may be like 4 goes in each category. I'm not 100% sure, but that way you know if you're right or not.
First page.
So all you do is you write all your answers down. Then you know where they go. I'm missing one?
Oh, that's the best one.
It's, no. Okay. So, and then you put them here, 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 or here. I'm thinking, let me just look while I've got this out.
I wonder if someone who's dyslexic would see side angle side as angle side side.
Do I have it? I don't know.
If someone who's dyslexic saw side
I don't know.
angle
Okay. There. Okay, there's going to be 4 of each. I do. So, if you end up with 5 in one category, guess what? It's wrong. Okay? Everybody hear me? Well, if not, it's in the video. So, that's Friday's work. I'm going to teach you today's
How many
lesson
it
now.
was?
Huh?
Do you count how many was in?
4. There's 4 in each category. 4, 4, 4.
So we're doing all on the paper today.
No, we're
learning
just
today.
learning, and I'm videoing, and then we're done.
not just
Also,
the
this is what else Miss Ashley is your sub, and so I told her that you can use like a computer, like if you need to watch the video, but you must do the worksheet and turn it in. Say that you need an extra day, that's fine. But on Monday, because actually I'll be here Friday afternoon, and I'll start looking through them. But on Monday, you can't say, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to turn that in because you played on your phone all week, okay? I won't take them, all right? So just do your work, everybody. Y'all can, and I told her y'all are welcome to help each other. Y'all work together. So, all right, let's move on with today's lesson now.
I'm autistic.
And at the end of class, somebody please remind me to pass out. Excuse me, papers. I was about to try to all right. Here we go. What lesson did I say we're on? Thank you. Oh, it's algebra. All right. And I think y'all handled yesterday's stuff pretty good. Okay. Today's stuff is a little bit more difficult. The reason is because we have this one drawing. Let's pretend that's not there. I'll try and make it a little less blurry. Okay, y'all, this is difficult, and this is the only day I'll be here to go over it, so you better pay attention. All right. They're just going to give you this one triangle, which is actually 3 triangles. Does everybody see that?
Wait.
This is 3 triangles. There is a big triangle, there's a small triangle on the left, and a medium-sized triangle on the right.
That's
Okay? So, they want us to be able to maybe split the triangles up, draw them separately, and then you'll have to say what's similar. Okay? So, and it does matter. Order matters, huh? So, let me see what the first part, we can't see all the problems, so it tells us that triangle ABC is a right triangle with right angle ACB. So A to C to B That's my right angle. Does everybody see that? The big triangle. Okay. CD is the altitude
The high.
to the hypotenuse. That is the height. Yeah, very good. We learned that a long time ago. So there's the height. Then what we know is that all three triangles in here are similar. If you have a right triangle and you draw the altitude through it, then all the triangles are similar. Okay?
Basically.
You would just have to find the right angle. So if this one is, let's start with triangle. I'm going to write it backwards. A to C to B. Does everybody see the big triangle? Because I wanted the right angle in the middle. Now let's look at the little triangle right here. I went small side, right angle, long side. So how would I write my next one? Small side,
AD.
yeah, ABC.
C.
Because I went small side, right angle, long side. So then when I go to my next one, on the right, which one's the small side?
C.
CD, that's my right angle.
D.
And then, yeah, so I would do, what did we say? CDB. Now notice, that's not the same way they wrote their similarity statement, but you just have to go in the right order. Okay? Does this kind of make sense? Yes,
You
no?
just gotta
You
go in
just-
the same order?
Yeah, you just have to make sure that you match up the letters right. Okay? So let's see our, is anybody writing that? Yes, okay, I'll give you all a second. And Julia Grace, I know you're dying to know, it looks like there's 4 different kinds of problems today.
There's so many.
It is.
That was my shoulder.
It is. Okay. Are we ready? Okay, sorry. Was waiting. All right, so here is, I'm going to cover this up so that we can draw them without help. Okay. I don't want to see theirs. Here's our triangle. And I know that that right there is the altitude. So what do I know about my 3 triangles?
They're similar.
They're similar. They're not congruent because there's 3 different sizes. There's a
Wait,
big
what'd
one,
you say?
small one, and then if you have a right triangle with an altitude drawn through it, the 3 triangles that you see are similar. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's start with the big triangle. How do y'all want to name the big triangle?
X, Y, Z.
Okay, X to Y to Z. That's the easy one. It's the first one. You just name it however you want. Now, this is what that's a little similar squiggle, okay? So she did the short side, 90-degree angle, and then the long leg, okay? That she went X, Y, Z. So now, let's do another triangle. What triangle? The what one?
The medium ones.
The medium one. Okay, the medium one, let's do the short side, Y, W, Z. Y, W, Z. Oops, I wrote a little triangle. And then the last one, and see, this is usually the hardest part, is doing all this. You're going to do the short side, X, W, Y.
Yay! I did it. High fives.
Okay? Is everybody good with that? Yeah? Let me show y'all. I think for them, they drew them separate. And I usually do that every year, but to me, I think this was easier. Just starting out short side to the not right angle to the long side. Yes, no, how do we feel? We feel like that's okay? Can I erase this one? Yes. All right, let me see what they have.
Hebrew and
If
pick
they-
up, especially geometry, since you are cutting and pasting.
Yes, I figure some of y'all are mess makers in here. I don't know what gives me that impression. But I don't want y'all scrap pieces of paper. Because I'm trying to give y'all an assignment that was
But we
different.
want to leave it for you forever so you can keep it until we graduate.
Okay. No. All right, they drew the 3 triangles separate. To me, that's a little bit more difficult. Like taking them out, drawing them, and flipping them around. But you can. Okay? And then they did the same thing we did. Then they just named, that's what we're looking for, the similarity statement. All right? Are we good? Do we need another one of those? Because
Probably
order matters. Probably
2.
Probably 2 more of those. Okay, let's do this one.
No, the next problem.
Oh, problem 2. You want me to go to problem 2? Does anybody need me to do this one? No.
That one's easy.
You're just taking them and putting them all in the same order, right?
Put them in the order. Yes. So on your worksheet,
There's a line right there.
yeah, that's basically problem 1. Look, I'll kind of go through the worksheet with you as we go. Basically, problem 1. See all the different answer choices? It's because order matters. So just go in the correct order. Everybody good with that? All right. Then we have, let's see. Okay. This is not too bad. This is something called a geometric mean. Okay, so, yes, you may. All right, I want to cover that up so we don't see. So, y'all, to find the geometric mean, hold on, where is my formula? I thought there was just a formula. You won't? Okay. I'm just going to tell you the easiest way. To find the geometric mean, this is how we would set it up. And I'll show you how we set it up and solve, and then I'll just tell you the easiest way to do it. But what they do is they would say, okay, that would be 6 over x, and that would be x over 15.
Wait, where did you get those from?
That is what a geometric mean is. They put it right here. It was in a little formula. I'm going to show you an easier way in just a second to do this, but I'm showing you where it's coming from. But anytime there's a geometric mean, you use this formula where what happens is, what's x times x?
2x.
Not 2x.
2x
It's
squared.
x squared.
X squared.
Okay? And then what is 6 times 15? 90.
90.
Okay, almost done. How do you get rid of a square?
You have to square root it.
Square root it. So I would get x is the square root of 90. Okay, now I'm going to show you the easy way. This is what you're doing essentially every time. We needed to kind of review how to solve. All you have to do is multiply those numbers and take the square root. That's it. What is 6 times 15? So it's the square root of 90. Now wait just a second. There's a problem here. Look at all their answer choices. Do you see the square root of 90?
I don't.
No. So they
See.
want you to simplify. All right. What is? Let's think of the number 90. What's a perfect square? What number goes into 90?
30.
3 is not a perfect square.
10.
10 is not a perfect square. What are perfect squares? 30 is not a perfect square.
9.
Okay, what are perfect squares? 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. Do y'all know what perfect squares are? Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is a perfect square. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is a perfect square. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 is a perfect square. Everybody knows what a perfect square is now. So, and this is something, y'all, that we'll go over again in Algebra 2, but we need to start getting used to it. What number that I named that's a perfect square goes into 90?
9.
9 times what?
10.
Okay. Now, I can take the square root of the perfect square. What is the square root of 9?
3.
3. So it's 3, and then I still have my other little number in there.
That is so weird.
It's b. That is simplified form. Some people, we have the fancy calculators, a lot of us do. They won't give you that. Not that I found. I can't figure out how
Okay,
to.
so
Now, Chloe Jordan has a calculator as well that's like a cheaper version. If she typed in square root of 90, it'll tell her it's 3 squared root of 10. I don't know what kind she has. I'm sure it was like $10. But hers, I mean, she has flown through Algebra 2 because her little calculator does this for her. But it's good. You need to know how to do it.
how do you do that one more time?
Okay. So, it's the square root of 90. We gotta think, okay, is that simplified? That would be like writing 5 over 10. Would you ever write 5 over 10 as your answer? You would write 1/2, right? you would simplify it. That's the same idea here. The square root of 90 is not simplified. You actually have a perfect square in there, and y'all told me it was 9. 9 times 10 is 90. What is the square root of 9?
3.
So you took the square root of 9,
So if it was like
you left the 10.
70, you do the same thing?
No, let me give you, okay, let's do 48. Let's do the square root of 48. Does anybody know what perfect square goes into 48?
6.
There's 6.
8 times.
7 times 7.
Is it not?
49.
7's 49.
Yes,
24 times 2.
but 24 is not a perfect square. What about 16 times 3?
What's 16 times 3?
I'm pretty sure it's 48. I hope so, because that's what I was thinking. Okay, we're gonna go with that. I'm pretty sure it's right.
It is.
16 times 3. Does everybody know that 16 is a perfect square?
Oh, so you have to find a perfect
Yeah.
square times
Yes,
number.
you have to have a perfect square. It has to be the biggest perfect square that can go in it. Otherwise, you're not simplifying it enough. What's the square root of 16? 4. And then you leave that number inside. That's just simplifying square roots. That's something that we'll do. Did we not do that in here?
I don't think so.
No, we did that in algebra 2. Okay.
I've never seen that.
Yes, you're supposed to see it in algebra 1, and I have yet to find it in that algebra
Listen,
1.
Amanda,
I
you
know.
didn't teach it to us.
This is me teaching it to
I'm
y'all
not teaching it,
gradually.
teach us
We
now.
have a whole lesson on it. I added in algebra 2. Don't worry.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I added to it in algebra 2 because you have to know it. Okay, now.
Of course we do.
Yeah. All right, this one. What's the geometric mean of 4 and 18? What's the easiest way to do that, y'all? Just multiply them and take the square root.
Whatever.
So what is 4 times 18?
Let's find out.
Oh,
72.
72.
72.
Now, do y'all think that's our
30 minutes.
answer?
It's not.
No, sadly no.
It never
So
is.
let's start with 64 doesn't go into it. Let's go down from there. Does 49? Does 36? No. 9. 9 times what?
8.
Well, so let's see. 9 and 8. 8 has a
6.
perfect square.
Not 6.
Okay,
It is.
let's go back to 36. Does 36 go into 72?
72 divided by 36 equals 2. Yeah.
Okay, that's the biggest square root. 36 times 2. What's the square root of 36?
6.
Okay, what was wrong with your answer, although you were close, that's the first one, Tyler, that I actually thought of.
It's not the
You
biggest.
would have gotten 3 square root of 8. What does 8 have in it? A perfect square. So then you'd have had to keep going. That's 4. 4 is a perfect square. 2 times 2.
And to
So
reduce that, you
yeah, you would have
reduce
just
that.
pulled that out, and you would have gotten 6 square root of 2 as well. But that's harder. To me, it's just best to find the biggest square root. Sorry, I had to text my kid. I have a sick kid at home.
Which one?
Elise.
What you got? She doing got the flu?
Huh?
Wasn't he here yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Apparently, it's
us the flu.
no. Everybody else has given her the flu. Is the way I'm looking at it. Literally everybody's been sick.
The whole basketball team had it. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure y'all did. Yeah.
Huh?
Okay, it's okay, y'all. It's fine.
Well, you're black. You don't.
Okay, y'all. Y'all, I'm not listening to y'all. Okay. Then it says this next little rule that we're going to use. Okay? I've got actually 2 little theorems here. So this one says you can take, and this is the hard part for today. It takes me a second to even tell y'all the easiest way.
So we don't need it.
We just skip it?
No, it's
Yeah,
on my
let's
sheet
just
note.
skip it.
The small side to the. I'm gonna write it a better way. I do the.
I'm checking out. I'm good. Just, I need to go home.
It's okay. I just figured you know. What'd you say?
I didn't say nothing.
It's on my recording. I'll just listen to it later.
If you can't hear it, that thing probably can't hear it.
It's amazing what that thing can pick up on. Okay. Then this one,
For our class?
Yeah, there's class.
I'm not saying.
No, Miss
The
Mac,
video
Miss
is
Mac,
going.
you gotta tell us now.
Well, the video's not there, so you just gotta tell us.
Yeah.
You'll just have to think. I mean, just wonder.
It was probably the 11th grade computers don't talk much in this class, is what she said.
Ninth graders.
So, but then her child's in that.
Middle side to the
Might
altitude, then the altitude to the, what is this?
This looks confusing.
Longer side. Okay. Yes, sorry. I'm trying, y'all. I think this is easier than what they said. Okay, so we have this triangle, and I prefer to use this one right here. Look at their little example. And it wants us to use this proportion. Okay, and basically the way we're gonna set it up is, do you see
Oh, my
the
goodness.
small triangle and the medium triangle? Does everybody see that? That's the two things I'm looking at. Yes, no, the
The small
triangle on the
and the
left
medium?
and the triangle on the right.
Not the
So the ratio, not the big one, not the whole picture. So the ratio that we're going to use, or the proportion, you take. Let's look at the small triangle. You take the small leg, which is 2, and put it over the altitude, which is 4. This is basically doing the geometric mean. Same thing we just learned. Then you take the altitude, which is 4 again, put it up here. And then you put the other part of that triangle, the medium one, which is 8. And then we'll cross multiply, square root it. It's basically doing a geometric mean.
16.
You just have to get used to setting it up, is the hard part.
That's supposed to be hard.
I'm confused.
Huh?
That's supposed to be hard.
Yes, in a second. We're going to have variables in there.
Ew.
So we can tell 16 does equal 16. Yes, it works. There was no variables. But in a second, we're going to have a variable. Okay? But if you want to write anything down, I would do small side over altitude equals altitude over the longer side.
Small, large, and altitude.
Everybody.
What's altitude?
The altitude is the
Like mountains.
the height of the triangle, the little line that divides it all.
That song played so much last week. They would play that song.
Okay, can I erase that?
What's the difference in
Yeah.
elevation
Yeah.
and altitude?
That and then
What's the difference in elevation and altitude?
it's
Is there a
like the
difference?
same song.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh my
Elevation, you're going higher. Altitude, it's the same thing, but like air.
Usually when you're on an airplane, don't they say we've reached an
Yeah.
altitude of,
Elevation's
A lot.
or do they say elevation?
Elevation must be on the ground.
As a
I think about altitude.
You know what? I don't even know.
There it goes.
Okay.
Elevation.
Let's see. Let's just dive into some problems, actually. That's what we're going to do. Okay, here we go.
What?
They played the Space Jam songs.
What one do I want to?
They did. Oh, you were over there one day.
No. Oh yeah, I was there 2 days.
The shade.
Only one day for a game.
I can't practice.
I think we might need
It's
this.
a Saturday, but we lost.
Okay, here's some more. Y'all, did y'all write down the last one? Because I'm about to add another one. Shh. Okay.
Small altitude, the cross multiplication one.
So here's another one. Y'all listen, we gotta get through this. Okay, it might have different information, y'all listen. So if the triangles don't have that information, then sometimes you'll have to use a different formula. I think they list like 3. So again, I'm gonna try and write it a different way. They are gonna say, now let's look at the big triangle, okay? So if we look at the big triangle, it's gonna be the entire side. So we'll just call it the whole side over the altitude equals the altitude. That stays the same every time. And then we can put it over the small side.
So how do you know which
That's
side
not-
to put it on?
We're opposite in it.
I mean, like this could be different, but it just depends on what
Which side are
information.
you looking at?
It depends on what information you're given. Like, I'll show you the example in a minute. But you can tell which one's the smaller. But this one's the whole thing, the 4. Okay? Because I wasn't given this.
What is
I mean, I know it's 3, but we might not know, have that information.
Is that a 1? What's
That's a 1.
Okay.
So yeah, I do know that this is 3, but pretend we don't. I can't use that, right? I can't use the medium triangle in this case. When you can't use the medium triangle, we have to use the whole triangle, the big one. So we do the whole side over the altitude, and then that's the small side. It's the same concept. Instead of using the medium one, though, what did I use this time?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Okay?
It don't change it.
I just don't understand why.
It doesn't really change, no. Okay, so let's look. Now, this is the hard part. I thought that was the hard part.
Yay.
Okay,
We have
this
41 minutes.
This one, okay, good, because this takes a little while. All right. On this one, let's see. What am I going to use? Let's try to find the altitude. The altitude is the most important thing, okay, that we can use. So, I would think that's what I would do.
So what would be the altitude of that one?
So, we would do...
Would it not be it? Well, no, no.
Well, let's do the whole thing. I think that's what I would do.
So it'd be 16?
The 16 over y equals y over 4. Yeah, is that what they get? 16 over y, x. They did x. I would do y.
20 minutes.
Let me see which one I want to use. Hold on.
We went down a whole minute.
Okay, do y'all want to, let's find...
Oh, she wasn't recording that.
I know, I should have been. Let's find the altitude. Let's start with the first one. Okay, the first little formula, what did it say for the altitude one?
Oh,
It-
altitude. Now,
It said small. Okay, so what's the small side?
4.
which one?
4 over the altitude, in this case is y, equals
Wow.
y over
12.
the longer side. Okay, does everybody, that's the first one. We got that one right. Is everybody good with that? No. It's just the formula. Because this one's for the altitude. So for the altitude, let's write this down. For the altitude,
Is the height.
you'll do small side over the altitude equals the altitude over the longer side. Okay, anytime we're looking for altitude. In this case, I wanted to find the
The
altitude.
triangle is written sideways.
So I put my small side over my altitude equals my altitude over my longer side.
Oh, I
Okay.
see what you're saying, because it's upside down.
Yeah.
I don't
Why
understand.
can't you
Triangle
just
is
draw the
upside down.
triangles correct then?
Oh, I thought this was how they drew it.
No, she's saying that she wished they'd just draw it straight
Because
out.
that
Oh.
wants to be
I mean,
That's
'cause
right.
It doesn't matter. It does.
It's the right, like the longer.
The one that goes through the right angle, just that's going to be our altitude right there. Okay? So we have a small triangle and a medium triangle. That's 4, so it's smaller. That's 12, so it's bigger. How would I solve this one, y'all? So we get
Y squared
equals.
equals 48.
How do you get rid of the square?
You have to divide.
Nope, you square root it.
Oh, man.
And we want to leave that our answer, but we already learned about 48. What number goes into 48?
16.
Very good.
And 3.
And 3.
And then 4.
What is the square root of 16?
4.
There's that is y. Yay! We got y.
Put that in the measurement.
How do you what?
Like that's
They want the exact answer. They don't want an estimated answer. They don't want a decimal. They want the exact, 4 square root of 3 is the exact answer. Okay?
What would a decimal be then?
Not an exact answer. That's an estimated approximate measurement, a decimal. They don't want it in a decimal. They want it in a radical form.
This is horrible.
Yes, I told y'all today was hard. Now, how do we find x? X is the leg. So now let's use the leg formula. So let me write this down, okay? If we're going to find the leg, then we do the whole side over the leg equals, I gotta be careful on it. Well, yeah, the leg over, and then it's the part that's next to the leg.
So 4.
So yeah, but I've got to figure out how to say that.
Adjacent to the leg.
What's
Yeah, I guess you want me to put that adjacent to the leg? What would help y'all to know? Okay, this is the whole side, the whole thing, the whole big part, right? Which is what? 16. Over the leg is which is what I'm missing. Equals the leg again, which is x. And since I'm on this side, I must use this number. How would y'all want me to say that? Because I'm just putting this little formula to help y'all.
Number beside it.
Okay, number beside. Number beside the leg. Okay, how's that? Okay, so let's work this out. When you're looking for the leg, we'll put the whole entire side. What did y'all say that was? 16 over the leg we're missing equals x over, and what's the number beside the variable? 4. Okay, so I get x squared equals, what's 16 times 4? It's 64? I think it's 64. 40, 50, 64. Okay, then what do you do to finish solving that? You square root both sides? What is the square root of 64? 8. So there's our x. It's 8. Okay, let's do this again. And y'all, if you're watching this video, I think the best thing to do is to fast forward. I need to keep these notes for next year. This is the best thing to use for your formula. I think it's way easier than theirs. Let me do another one. Yes, most definitely.
How many more problems?
This is probably, I don't know that I'm going to do that one. So this may be our last one, and then I'm going to kind of like go through the worksheet and tell y'all, oh, this one to do this. Okay? So y'all, let me do this little triangle. Okay, here's the altitude. So this triangle may be upside down. We've got 4 and we've got 5. Okay, so what do y'all want to find first? The altitude or the leg? The altitude? So I would go to my altitude formula and it says put the small side over the altitude. Which one of those is the small side? 4. What was my altitude? Y. Equals y over, and it's the what? What goes here? The long side. What's the long side? 5. So then what do? Cross multiply. So y squared equals 20. Not done yet.
Do you always get a square root?
Yes. On these, it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same thing.
Why can't it just be a number?
Well, a square root is a number.
Is it 4?
So this one's going to be, no, it's not 4. It's going to be y equals the square root of 20. I mean, not your answer's 4, but what goes into 20?
4.
4 times 5. Is everybody good with that so far?
And then
And then the square root of 4 is 2. Okay?
Carter's gonna hate this when she wakes up.
Well, she should have paid attention. Now let's find the leg. Okay? For the leg, it starts with the whole side. What's this whole side? 9. Over the leg, what's our leg here? X equals x over, and then it's the side next to it, or beside it is what we said. So that's 4. Then what do?
Cross multiply.
So you get x squared equals 36.
6.
How do you solve? You would take the square root. And that one is easy. What's the square root of 36? 6.
Maybe those are the easier ones, like they say easy.
Let me see what's on here.
Probably the difficulty one ever. Because the worksheets.
Oh, this is it. Okay.
10 more minutes.
This one is just a geometric mean. So what do? Multiply and square root it. Okay? And pick your answer. This one, it just wants you to match WX over WV. What's the short side and the hypotenuse in the other triangle? It just wants you to match which one goes with it, okay? That was kind of like what we did at the beginning. All right, this one is one that you're going to set up that way, okay? You have to see what are you looking for. We've got lots of little pieces, all right? So just go through it. We know the altitude. So what are you looking for on these two? The legs. This one's a little bit backwards for A. I would just find. How would I want to find this one? Let me come back. I might get y'all started on that one. This one is just like what we done. You're missing the altitude and the leg. Okay, you'll find the altitude just like we did. You'll find the leg just like we did. This one says just find the altitude. Okay, so you would do, that's all you have to do on this one, our little altitude formula. All right, which is small side over the x equals x over 16. Okay, that's our little altitude formula. Let's see. This one right here is just write your similarity statement just like at the beginning. You got your big triangle, middle triangle, and your small triangle. This one, oh, no, sorry, this one right here. I went backwards. Geometric mean, multiply, and square root. Just multiply and square root. That one is a little different. How much time do I have?
It's 32.
9 minutes.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
8 minutes.
that's fine. Let me just go over one of these with y'all. Hold on. Let me pick one. Okay. But they're long.
It's broken.
Yeah, they are. Some are really long. That one's long. Okay. This one, let's see. We are missing, this one is weird because I don't know the length of this short side. I also don't know the length of the whole thing. But let's start with the altitude problem. What does the altitude problem say? It says that we take, let's look right here, the small side, okay, which is going to be A. So this time I don't know something that's weird. What's my altitude? I put it over my altitude. What's my altitude? 20 equals my altitude of 20 over, what's the longer side? 21. Now I'm going to cross multiply and find A. So I would get 21A equals, what's 20 times 20?
400.
And then what's 400 divided by 21?
19.05.
Really?
Well, 47. So round it up.
So we'll just do 19. How does that sound? So A is 19. Is everybody good with that? So I'm going to put 19 right here. Now, how do I find the missing leg? What formula would I use for my missing leg? So this one I use the altitude. So the formula for the missing leg, there it is. What's the length of the whole side?
It's 19 plus 21.
What is that?
It's 30.
40. 40 over the length of the leg I'm missing is B
Okay.
equals B over the 19.
Teachers and students, may I have your attention, please? If we have any student in 6th through 12th grade that are interested in golf, or 9th through 12th grade that are interested in tennis that didn't play last year, please go to the gym at this time for a brief meeting. Teachers, this meeting will be brief and they will be returning shortly. 6 through 12 golf, 9
right.
through 12 tennis.
So let me stop that.